This week's Haftarah mentions that Shlomo, the king, sent for a man named Hiram from the city of Sor. It says that he was the son of a widow from the tribe of Naphtali, so he was Jewish by descent, and that his father was from Sor, so presumably a ger, convert, if you will, who was a coppersmith. So he had a background in metalworking within the family. And he himself, as we can see, was quite good with metalworking. Also, having come from Sor, which is a city in the Lebanon. Remember, in those days, it was the name of a region. It is on the coast of the modern-day country called Lebanon, known as Tyre. Sor, workers from Sor were known for being able to process wood properly. The cedars of Lebanon were famously strong and therefore infamously expensive. To say you were able to make your house or your palace out of the cedars of Lebanon was not a small matter. So he had a background in this sort of work that needed to be done. Interestingly, the Haftarah mentions the construction of these pillars, and that's it. Lots of other stuff was made, but it doesn't discuss any of that. The Haftarah reads through the bit about the pillars and pretty much stops. Why? Because the truth is, this Haftarah is not about the pillars. It's about teaching you that every person has a place. This guy was the right man for the job, and therefore he was specifically sent. What, there wasn't anybody who could work metal? There weren't any carpenters in Jerusalem? No, he specifically sent for this guy because this guy is the right guy to do this job. You don't always need the best person for a job, but sometimes you need the right person for a job. And the nuances of this job requires this guy. Might not be the best, but he's the right one for this particular job. The connection to that is shown obviously in our Torah reading, where it talks about Bezalel. According to the oral tradition, Bezalel was 13, was bar mitzvah the day he was given the command to build the entirety of the Mishkan. He knew how to weave, he knew how to work metal, he knew how to work with wood, he knew how to engrave, he knew how to carve, he knew all of it. And it said that he was given a blessing from God that he understood this, but he had some wisdom ahead of time, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. He was a kid, really, only just into adulthood. He turned 13 that day. But it doesn't matter, because he was the right person for the job. It says that God asked Moshe, what do you think of Bezalel? And Moshe says, well, if he's acceptable to you, what am I going to complain? And God says, even so, go ask the Israelites. And the Israelites said, well, if he's acceptable to you, Moshe, why should we complain? If he's the right guy for the job, if God's tapped him on the shoulder, we're not going to argue that. He's the right guy for the job as a matter of judgment. So what, my judgment is better than God's? But they never complained, he's just a kid, it's not appropriate. The fact that God named him means he's the right guy for the job. Let him do the job. Everyone's got a place. Sometimes we struggle to find ours. I wish you better luck than I've had in my life, because I'm still working on it. Shabbat Shalom.